What is going on? This is Cody, and you are tuned into B-Boy 45, broadcasting from the Seacrest Studios here at Children's Hospital, Colorado. It is another special edition of the latest news to keep you in the groove with Maya. Maya, how are you today?
Good. How are you?
Oh my gosh, I am so good, and we've got a new friend on the line. Who's on the line with us?
Orny Adams.
Orny Adams, woo! Welcome. How are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. I've been excited about this all day.
Well, we have to. Maya, take it away, girl.
Okay, so first of all, thank you so much for calling in. I'm really excited to be talking to you.
Likewise, Maya.
My first question for you is, who or what inspired your love of comedy?
You know, it's something that's sort of inside of me. You know, it's from a really young age. I just was always funny and trying to get people's attention through having a sense of humor and making people laugh. I really enjoy, seeing people smile and laugh and get something. So there was no like sort of one moment where a switch went off in my head and I said, that's what I should be. It was like as if I had no other choice. It was just, it's what I'm, biologically wired for.
Cool.
Are you a fan of comedy, Maya?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. I assume you know me from Teen Wolf is what I would guess, right?
Yeah, I actually have a question about that. So
okay, I'm ready.
Yeah. Well, first I have a few more questions about your comedy. So what is the most challenging part of performing stand-up?
This is probably will surprise you and people watching, but will not surprise other performers. The hardest part is everything that happens during the day when you're not on stage. Being on stage is the easiest part for me. It's getting through the day. It's dealing with the business and people and all the obstacles in life. That's what I find challenging. Getting up on stage is just, it's the greatest joy, making people laugh and being funny.
Oh, cool. So who makes you laugh until you cry?
My family. I come from a funny family. I come from a family where we were the loud family in the restaurant, and we're always laughing and having a good time and poking fun at each other. And that's sort of where it came from.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So what do you do if a joke doesn't land during your stand-up?
Well, usually that means I did something wrong. Technically, it could mean I put the joke in the wrong place during the routine. I may have been nervous saying it. I may have told too much information and projected the punchline. I may have not told enough information. So usually it's me. I have a really good track record of knowing what's funny. So it's almost like translating something I know that's in my head that's funny to something that the audience is going to understand and consume and laugh at. And sometimes this will surprise you. Sometimes it's one word that screws up an entire joke. Sometimes it's a pause. Sometimes it's changing a word from lawyer to attorney. It's that technical.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Because you probably watch Maya, when you watch comedy, you should look at it and say, oh, this looks so easy. I could do this. And I think this is the first time he or she has ever said this. That you should make it look effortless. Like the greatest artists in the world, whether it's like a singer like a Pavarotti or I don't know who you like, but if it looks effortless, it puts the audience at ease.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I love besides you, I love John Mulaney, and I watch his stand-up specials on Netflix like all the time.
Yeah.
but I don't watch it and look at it and say, this looks easy. I'm always like, this looks so stressful. This looks like it would cause like so much anxiety. I'm like, I don't know how they do that. I could never do that. So,
well, the answer is we could not do it. It's the only thing we can do. So there's no other option. That's easy for me. I don't know how people do other things in life. I don't know how people even get up on a ladder and paint a house. I don't, what would you, if you could do anything in the world, Maya, what would it be?
I would be an interviewer. Like, this is what I love. But I think if I wasn't doing this, I think a lawyer.
Yeah. Well, so who inspires you as an interviewer?
Ryan Seacrest. Yeah, he's the big one.
He's a big one. Do you ever watch like Oprah?
No.
No. Okay. No. I think she's a good interviewer.
Yeah.
So what you can do is, and what I did was, you just study. You study these people. You study Ryan, and you go, how does he do it? How does he get information out of people? How does he make the subject or his guest feel comfortable? That's
Yeah. Yeah. So where do you find inspiration for your jokes?
Well, you. that person, this person, anything that happens in my life that sort of I think, well, that's funny. Now, how do I try and find a unique angle. I was invited to somebody's house for dinner, and, they happen to be very wealthy. And I said, can I bring something? And when you're that wealthy, I expect them to say, no, don't bring anything. And they said, bring ice. And I thought, that's the lowest form of bring something. There's nothing says more, we don't trust you to bring the cupcakes or bake something. And so to me, that's really funny. And when I tell that on stage, I just started telling this joke, and it continues on. I don't want to give away the entire joke, but you see unraveling in people's eyes a connection that this has happened to them before. And so the trick is to sort of see things that are funny that other people may see as funny subconsciously, but maybe not consciously, and bring it to the forefront, or be really sneaky. Like if you watch my last special, I was talking about commercials, and as you get older, certain commercials start talking to you, and that's a really interesting way to get into it. So for me, I just see the world really funny. I've got a warped brain. It's the only way to explain it,
Yeah.
Like, do you sit around? Let me ask you one more question. Do you sit around and imagine what questions you would ask people?
Sometimes when I'm thinking, oh, like I would really love to interview this person, and then I think, what would I ask them? And so sometimes I think of a couple questions I'd ask that person.
Yeah.
So, is there anything that is off limits for your stand-up?
Yeah, actually a lot of things. I never want to say anything that would make my family uncomfortable or not proud of me. And I would, I never want to I never want the audience in front of me to feel uncomfortable or insulted. I think it's really important not to, I like to push boundaries and make people think, but I don't want to hurt people's feelings if that's possible. But at the same time, like I'm doing jokes right now about schools having buddy benches for kids to sit on if they feel left out. And I joke about it. And the intention is not to make people that sit on that bench feel bad, but it's also kind of a funny subject for me, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You got to be able to laugh at yourself. That's the truth. I mean, there's a lot of things about me that are vulnerable, and I'm insecure about things. And I enjoy when people point those out.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like my family and I always say like life's more fun if you can laugh at yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I really think part of the problem with what's going on right now is everybody is so serious about everything. And I think it's really good. I think it's good that these topics that we're discussing are coming forward and we're resolving and adjusting. But at the same time, you've got to be able to laugh. And
Yeah.
laughing together moves everything forward. So if you ever come to one of my shows, you will see in the audience people that believe in this, people believe in that, people that are young, people that are old, people that voted this way, people that voted that way, this religion, that religion. And as I sit there and I talk about bringing ice to a party or pillowcase covers or even the buddy bench, whatever I'm talking about, you'll see they're all laughing because we're all human. And then they sort of look around and they go, gee, that guy that is different than me, we're actually more similar than dissimilar. And so there's a way to laugh and break down boundaries and stuff like that. And I think that's getting lost right now because everything is so serious.
Yeah. And yeah, I like you were saying, I think it's so important that these issues are like coming to light and people are talking about them and changing things. Like I think that's so important, but then like not but it's aside from those issues that I feel like people are too serious. And aside from those issues that I'm like, you have to like be able to laugh too.
Yeah, and I just think like when I see like young people, much younger than you, kids in elementary school that have causes, it's like, just enjoy life, go out and ride your bike and do whatever, be a kid, be a kid.
Yeah.
And I also think that it's very unforgiving times. There's a lot of people that may end up saying something that they don't understand what it really means or that it's hurtful to a certain group. And I feel like they get attacked before we sit back and say, hey, what were your intentions? And I feel like we're reacting a little too fast. And, I think that we should sort of investigate and go, is this what you meant? Did you mean to, just so you know, these people are offended by that. And you can go, oh, wow, I didn't realize.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like before like attacking somebody, you need to say like, okay, like what you said, like what were your intentions? And then because sometimes it's like people just make mistakes. And so
yeah, or you may be unaware or you were tired that day or who knows, but like we're all human. Like we all think things, we all say things, and we've got to be more forgiving. And we should actually look at those people. If they're willing to change, and that's a victory. Like that's great. You said something or you thought something or you did something and you're willing to change. Like that's a step in the right direction.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So my next question for you is, so were you a comedian before you were an actor?
Yeah.
And what made you decide to transition into acting?
Well, I always thought I was going to have a sitcom. I always thought I was going to have like a big show or be part of something on my own. And I through the years developed things with studios, projects, but they never really aired. I was always a stand-up. I did that while I was in college, and it's my essence. It's who I am. The biggest acting thing I've ever done was Teen Wolf, and we did 6 seasons. And I was cast because the person that created that show was a fan of my stand-up comedy. So if you look at the character I played on the show, it's very derivative of who I am. It was very easy to play.
So my next question is about Teen Wolf. I was wondering, do you have any fun stories or memories from filming?
Yeah, it was nothing but love on that set, in that cast with everybody. And we still keep in touch. And I mean, there's a million stories. I mean, if there's a specific scene or an episode that you want to ask me about, I can tell you. But it was really just a positive experience.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't really have like an episode or scene in mind. I was, as we were watching it, I was like, okay, I need to ask Orny about this. So what personality trait has gotten you in the most trouble?
My sense of humor gets it always, but it also gets me out of trouble too, because I can make anybody laugh at any time. But it's gotten me in trouble. And let's see, maybe what else? I'm stubborn. That's gotten me in trouble. What else has gotten me in trouble? Sometimes I'm quick to react. I don't give people a chance. All these are horrible. I'm a horrible person, Maya. I'm quick to judge. There's, I'm a perfectionist. That gets me in a lot of trouble too.
Yeah, I agree with like stubbornness and sometimes sense of humor. Like my family and I have kind of a warped sense of humor. So sometimes when we're out in public, we joke with our mom that we can't take her anywhere because sometimes she makes a joke and people just look like my sister and I are laughing, but then everybody else is just looking at her like she's crazy.
How many brothers and sisters do you have?
I have one sister. We're twins.
Wow. I just found out last night, one of my good friends, somebody who lives in the neighborhood I'm buddies with, he said, I'm going up to Seattle to visit my twin sister. And I said, I've known you for years. I didn't know you had a twin sister. Like, I felt like that's so strange. Like, now I'm looking at him like, what else isn't he telling me? Like, that's a big deal to be part of a twin.
Yeah.
You guys look.
Yeah. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
Are you identical? Are you identical twins?
No. But some people say we do look alike. We see like that we looked alike when we were younger, and now we're different people, and so
yeah. So, are you guys really close?
Yeah. We are.
Great.
Yeah, she's my best friend. So.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, that's nice. That's yeah.
Yeah, and she's going to college next year, and so I'm really mad at her.
Wow. Where's she going? Are you allowed to say?
She's just gonna be 45 minutes away. She's going to school here. But I'm still mad at her.
Well, you're supposed to be happy and supportive that she has that opportunity, but guess what? You should be mad at her. Yeah. I'm mad at her, Maya. Get her. Are you at home? Get her in the room right now. I'll let her know. How dare she?
Am.
Yeah. Okay, how dare she live her life? You let her know. I said, you don't live your life. You don't live your life. She's supposed to stay right there with you.
Okay, I will. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. My mom, both. I'm mad at her, and our mom's mad at her too, because we're so close, and we're like, "What are we gonna do with you?"
Yeah, I'm mad at her too. Put me on that list.
Okay, I will.
Let her know. Add me to that list.
I will.
But that's very nice that that you guys all feel that way, because I can tell you for a fact, when I went to college, my family couldn't have been more excited to get me out of that house, and they made it very clear I wasn't welcome back after college. That's what you tell your sister. Tell your sister you can leave, but you can't come back. So go ahead, but don't feel like after college, if you can't find a job, or you need a place to stay, you leave us. That's it.
Okay, I'll let her know that.
Good.
So What do you do like when you're having a bad day to cheer yourself up?
Listen to music, read a little. Yeah, music really moves me. How about you? What do you do?
Music, or I do love reading also. Usually it's like music or like one of my favorite shows, because reading, like, then I just kind of get in my head and get usually it takes me a long time to read a book because I'll be reading and then I'll just completely space out. I
do that too.
Like a couple pages and I'll be like, wait, what did I just read? And so I'll have to go back.
Yep. I'm the same way. My mind drifts. Yeah.
Yeah.
But music's wonderful. Who do you listen to?
I listen to a lot of Ben Platt. So his songs either like make me sob or I'll be like dancing to them. So there's a lot of his music that just makes me bawl. I love so there are a couple Broadway soundtracks I'm just obsessed with that I have.
Which ones?
I love my favorite is Spring Awakening. So I have that one on all the time.
That's great.
When quarantine first started, there was a show I loved that they put on Spring Awakening, so I always listen to that soundtrack, their version of it. And then when quarantine first started, I found the original soundtrack, and so that was March 2020, and so I haven't stopped playing it since then. So
that's great. Yeah, it's always fun when you play one song 20 times in a row. Yeah. That's pretty amazing. Yeah. So do you live in Colorado?
Yes.
I know nothing about you. I don't know your story. I know nothing.
I live here in Colorado with my mom and my sister.
For now, sister's leaving.
Yeah. That's true. We've been joking that I'm like, you can't leave me with mom. You have to.
Right.
Yeah. And our mom's just sitting there looking at us like, I'm right here.
Are you in a big? That's but kids are supposed to pick on their parents. It's good. It's healthy. Yeah. Are you? What part of? Are you in like Denver, Aspen? What part of Colorado?
We're in Centennial, which is like a suburb area, and then Denver is like 45 minutes away. It's downtown.
Yeah, I hate that altitude there. It gets me. It gets me.
Yeah, I can't go up to the mountains because then that gets me. And so we've tried a couple times and it hasn't worked out. We've gone up and then gone down like an hour later.
Yeah, I flew into Aspen. That might have been the scariest flight I've ever been on, because that airport is like, I think it's between like two mountain ranges, and it was windy, so the plane has to go down really, really fast like this, and it starts shaking, and they kept like coming back up. And the first time they go, we're gonna try and land in Aspen tonight, and the plane, and I heard somebody from the back, like must have been a regular that flies in all the time, and I heard her say, "Here we go." I thought, oh, this isn't good. And it was like, I'd never been so scared. We ended up diverting to Denver after trying to land 3 times. And then they bussed us from Denver to Aspen, which I don't even think that's much safer, being that close to the, pitch dark, that close to the side of the mountain.
Yeah, they should not have done that at night.
Right. In a bus with snow.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. um, yeah. So, what is your biggest pet peeve?
People that are incurious, people that don't explore, don't look into things, don't research, don't like see something, or if you're reading something and there's a word you don't know, don't look it up. If there's a reference you don't know, like today, I went out for lunch and the woman seating us said, I hate to ask, but, and I said, yes, because I knew she was probably knew me from Teen Wolf. And she said, were you on Teen Wolf? I said, yes. She says, oh, you were so hilarious. And what I really want to tell her is, hey, have you seen my stand-up? Do you know I have a podcast? But you don't want to be desperate. So I said, yeah. I said, it's nice to meet you. And I thought, I wonder if she's going to like Google me. Because if I met somebody, I would Google them. I go, what have they done since Teen Wolf? What else do they do? And so I like people like that. Like if I have to buy anything, I research it. I'm just curious. So people that are incurious drive me nuts.
Yeah. So is there a show or movie that you can just watch over and over again?
Yeah, I think like Casino, like The Godfather, like stuff like that. I can watch, but for the most part, I don't. I watch something once and then that's it. How about you?
Yeah, I have some things that
Goodfellas too. I like Goodfellas. But go ahead.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I have a couple things that I can just watch over and over again, because usually it's like the three of us have a show we're watching, so when they're gone, I don't have anything new to watch, and I'm just fine watching things over again.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a lot of Friends, and then Friends and The New Adventures of Old Christine. Those are the two big ones.
That's great. I'm old enough to have watched Friends when it was new. I saw those episodes when they came out. That's how old I am.
Well, that was like the 1990s, so that's not that old.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. So what song would you want playing to announce your entrance into a room?
You know, I love Start Me Up by the Rolling Stones, but I could, it depends what's going on in the room. But let's discuss that. What's happening in the room I'm walking into? Then it could be a Bob Dylan song. It could be anything, you know?
Yeah. Oh, cool. Yeah.
How about Here Comes the Bride? That would confuse everybody.
Oh, yeah. I like that one. I've never heard that answer.
Here comes, that. We'll play that. People are like, what? What's going on? Who's this guy coming into Here Comes the Bride?
Okay. Yeah, that's the best answer.
That's it. I knew it. I knew I was going to be the best at something in this interview.
So my last question for you is, who do you consider to be a real life superhero and why?
Well, I mean, people like Dr. Fauci, people that, that I think Bill Gates, I think people that do things for other people. I wish I was more selfless like that. I wish I was capable. I have trouble just taking care of myself, but people that change the world in really great ways. Let me think. Who else would I think is a real life superhero? I mean, I'm sure you've met doctors. There is so many. What's amazing about humanity is there's a group of really awful people. And then on the other end of the spectrum, there's some really great people that really try and change the world. And I've never understood how there's this huge gap in between. I don't know why there's so many bad people dragging down the good people. But I see heroes every day. I walk around and I go, wow, look what that person just did. That's remarkable.
Yeah, there are some things that like with like firefighters, and like I respect them so much because I don't know how they do what they do. And like I was telling my mom, I was like, I'm like I consider myself to be a brave person, but like there's just some things like I don't know how people do it. Like I'm like I would be terrified to do that.
Right.
So
Well, but maybe that's all that they can do. Like all I can do is stand-up comedy, and you're afraid of that. I'm not afraid of that. The firefighters probably are afraid to do stand-up comedy, but they're not afraid to run into a fire. The guy who does open heart surgery, which I couldn't imagine, having somebody else's life in my hands. I don't trust myself enough. That person can't do comedy. That person can't run into a fire. And that's what makes the world beautiful, is that we're all good at something. Find it and be the best at it.
yeah.
And I'm still angry at your sister for going to school, but I don't want to dwell on it. I'm trying to let it go.
I feel like I should like record you saying that to show her.
You have it. You have it. I signed off. I pressed go ahead and record. You let her know.
Okay, I will.
That is
Thank you.
a beautiful way to explain way to look at life and way to look at people.
Well, thank you. I wish you'd come back playing my theme song, Here Comes the Bride.
Do 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 do. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I thought you said singing your song, not playing it. My bad.
That's you have the voice of an angel.
I know. The kids tell me all the time it's so good. I better stop.
What do you do at the? Do you just run the studio?
I sure do. I'm a DJ
Okay.
here in the studio. Except
I
for
love it.
other than like a regular DJ just talks, people get to come into the studio and sit down and get on microphone. So at any point I could be interrupted and we could start talking about who knows what. So,
Yeah. How cool.
Yeah.
How cool.
Maya,
Yeah,
what else you have for this guy?
Well, that was my last question. So thank you so much for calling in. I just want to keep going because I just want to keep talking to you. So.
Well, we anytime you want to talk, you have a contact for me. If you want to continue a conversation, even offline, you let me know.
Thank you.
And thank you for having me on. I saw the list of guests you've had on. I can't believe you even have time for me. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, she is a pretty big deal. I mean, 200, what is he, number 202, Maya? 204?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
You're in
Very
the top
cool.
300. There you go. You can brag.
Well,
you can put that on your resume, okay?
You let me know when you tag me on social media so I can share this.
Awesome.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for spending
thank
so
you.
much time with us. Thanks for spending so much time here at Children's Hospital Colorado. I know the kids loved it. You are hilarious, and I'm sure Maya will keep us updated as to where else we can find you and see you as you continue to be in cool things.
Cool. Thanks, Maya.
Thank you.
Take care.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.